Hi everybody, tonight I'm going to make a lovely lamb curry, a special curry that I have developed myself through lots and lots of practice and trying all the different types of herbs and spices. I've decided I'm going to share this one here with everybody. Now, first thing you need to do is to get all your curry stuff together. I have a big bowl of everything here. I don't know what I put in there, I'll just throw it in at random. You'd be surprised how much you can create just by being a random spice rather than a uniform spice. Next, of course, you're going to need one chopped heaven onion. Make sure you don't cry about it. Some garlic, of course. And of course the old basha, my favourite. First thing we've got to do is cook the onions. Heat some of this oil up, and of course I always use the extra virgin. So into a preheated pan, not a lot of oil, just enough for the onions. Now, of course, your favourite stirrer. Onions go in, just like that. Now the trick to all this is to actually let the onions cook, not too fast, but then again not too slow. Love the smell of cooking onions. You don't want them chopped up too small because then it just melt away into nothing inside the sauce. So while this is cooking away, just go back to my bench and I'll start getting my spices ready. First thing we put in, of course, is your coriander seeds. And these things, they are just divine in the curry. Really brings out the flavour. And of course, we just start to very, very slowly grind them down, but not just enough to actually crack the seeds. We don't want to pulverise them. We just need to just crack them all open. So we'll do that nice and gently, because we don't want them screaming out everywhere. And then we'll start adding in our other spices, like turmeric powder. Nice colour. A little bit of saffron powder. Not a great deal. About a quarter of a teaspoon. Of course, the European mixed herbs for a totally different flavour altogether into a traditional curry. Coriander ground to help the seeds give it that nice coriander flavour. Cinnamon, of course. Well, about half a teaspoon. Sweet paprika, not a great deal again, all just for a flavour mix. And just a little bit of sweet chilli, just a smidgen to taste. A little bit of curry powder as well, just to blend them all together. And my favourite, oregano. That really shines. Bit of cinnamon powder, why not? What, do you put some in already? Who cares? Here's some more. And now we'll just grind them all together. Nice. Bring them all together. God, I can smell it. If you can smell this, ladies and gentlemen. And that's about it for all that. That's all pretty well mixed together. And we'll set that aside. And we head back to our frying pan where the onions should be just about done. And all ready to mix in our garlic. For a little bit of extra flavour, I normally do a bit of beef stock to enhance the actual flavour of the lamb, rather than using the normal lamb juice that I pre-cook my lamb in. The reason for that is I find that the actual lamb stock makes it taste just a little bit too fatty for my liking, and of course trying to keep the weight down. So what I do, I always use this stuff. This is really good stuff. 1 heaped spoon and about half a more into the jug, and just give it a good stir till it's all melted together. And you'll be surprised the difference it makes to everything. Okay, so I'll just put that on the side for now, and I'll go back to my onions and get all my herbs and everything else ready. Now, as you can see here, my onions are just about done, nicely crystallized. Now, this is where the fun begins. Freshly chopped garlic. Forget the pre-cut stuff. You really need to get real garlic into this. It really highlights the flavors. You can just smell that garlic really starting to cook now, nice and slow. The smell is just beautiful. Makes you feel like you want to throw all this stuff onto a hot dog. Okay, just let that kind of cook for another couple of minutes, but we don't want to overcook the garlic. And at this point, I would chuck in a little bit of salt, and of course some pepper. Beautiful, you can smell that from here. Quick little stir just to get it all happening, and as you can see, all the ingredients are starting to look like they're actually cooking. This is what it's supposed to be doing. Now, we take our herbal spices out of the mortar and just drop them in there, just like that. It sounded so industrious. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you should really be smelling the flavors of all these spices. Yum, yum, yum. But as you can see, I'm just letting them just heat up a little. Allow them spices to just explode with that smell. My goodness. Look at that, looking absolutely divine. Smells lovely. Okay, now we'll just let that simmer there for a couple of seconds. Now the next thing we're going to do is add our stock. Here's the stock I prepared earlier. Just pour that straight in. Oh, look at that. And over here, I also have some pre-cooked lamb loin chops. And these won't take that long to cook once you have pre-cooked them. But pre-cook them enough so that they don't actually fall apart. Now, we just stir our dirty. So if you can just smell this stuff, I'll tell you, I just can't wait for someone to invent smell-o-vision. Because if you can smell this, oh my goodness. Now, okay, now this is where it gets really tricky. We need to put a few extra herbs and spices in there to continue the broth and just let that simmer out for a while before we add the meat, the coconut cream and start preparing our rice just to get it right so it can all just come together on the dinner table. First thing we need to add in there is actually a bit of curry powder. Strange that. It's easy to just take the lid off. Now I'll put in here about a heaped teaspoon of curry powder. A nice smell. Bit of curry paste. This can be any flavour curry paste you like. But this time I'm using the Malaysian curry paste, just for something different. We have here the cloves, very, very important addition. Cloves are in there, not many, probably about half a dozen, 8 pieces. Our cardamom seeds, pop them into the crusher and just crack them. So all you need to do is just crack them. That's it. And once they're all cracked open, in there, and just sprinkle them all into the broth. Fresh dried curry leaves. These things are absolutely great. Just sprinkle a handful in there, just like that. One only, or half, of a cinnamon stick. Just crack it open and just pop it in there with that. A couple of bay leaves. Here's a nice big one. Ooh, really nice in there, and new in there as well. Now we just give that a little stir for now, and we just let that sort of simmer for a little bit, and then we're ready to add the meat in there and the coconut cream so we can finish it off. Now that this thing is actually been simmering now for about 5 minutes, maybe 6-7 minutes, we're going to add the meat to it. Now I have pre-cooked the meat so that it's not really that cooked, but it's pre-cooked. There we are. And we'll just gently place these not too thick chops. Get the really thick chops, they tend to take forever to cook. So I get my butcher to actually chop them thin for me. And whatever's left over, of course the dog gets a bonus. There should be just a couple of chops for everybody. And there we are, they can just go straight in there. Just cover them up with a sauce. Just like that. And we'll just let them cook for about another 5, maybe 10 minutes before they are ready. So you don't want to overcook them either. You want them cooked so they're still nice and firm without them falling apart on the plate. Now that this has been simmering for probably about 20 minutes, it's time to add in the coconut cream. Just gently pour that in there, nice and gentle. Look at that, absolutely delish. Get every last drop out. There we are. Now just use your stirrer, nice and slow, and just gently stir all that in. And once it's all stirred in, it goes back on the simmer for another 15-20 minutes, and giving you a chance now while this is simmering to actually get your rice cooking. So by the time the rice is ready, your curry is all ready to roll. Okay, look at that. Doesn't that smell nice? We need to add in some raisins. Just give it a little bit more sweeter flavour. We don't need much of them. Just a little handful, and just drop them in there at random, right around, spread them out equally, making sure that they're not still stuck together as they would be coming out of the packet. And while they were simmering, I've gone to the trouble of making our saffron rice, and that is all nice and warm, and now our curry is just about ready to be served. We just need to let it simmer for another couple of minutes, let those raisins take in a bit of the heat and a bit of flavour, and there we have it. Now I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this curry smells absolutely divine. I wish there was some way I can get this smell into you. Can't wait to get my chops onto it. And here we are now, ready to serve our creation. As you can see here, saffron rice. I'm just going to put some of this rice onto the plate. Sprinkle some onto there. And just spread it out nice and evenly. Just a little bit more. And we just spread it a little bit into like a bit of a moat there, so we can get nice in there. And now with our little baby clippies, pick up our little choppies. And of course the best part now, the gravy. Just that, absolutely delicious. Smells so nice. Plenty of sauce over the top. So the rice gets covered with all that beautiful juice. And there you have it. Spicy Billy's lamb chop curry with saffron rice. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm really going to enjoy that.